1.
So, Ben, you've just won the London Street Musician of the Year award for your clarinet playing. First of all, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
For our listeners who don't know much about this competition, could you tell us something about how it works?
Well, it's basically a competition aimed at buskers in London, people who perform music on the street, either because they just enjoy doing it or as a way of making money. And actually, it's not a real competition as such, because people don't have to officially enter it. It's more a talent spotting kind of thing.
2.
What happens is that there's a team of about 10 judges who are all professional musicians themselves. Over the space of a few months, in their spare time, they wander around London, looking out for buskers who they think are good. If they find someone, they get the other judges to come on another day and listen. Then, at the end of the few months, they all vote on who they thought was the best.
3. I see. And where were you spotted?
I was playing with my band in Covent Garden. I play there quite a lot. Like most buskers, we have our regular places where we like to play, where we know that people are going to listen and give us money.
4. And what type of music do you play?
Well, it's a bit hard to define. It's kind of a combination of folk and punk rock. Some people call it steampunk.
Right. Never heard of that myself, but anyway.
5.
And do you play any other instruments apart from the clarinet?
Yeah, the saxophone and the piano. But I obviously don't take the piano when I go busking.
Yeah, right. So, which would you say is your favourite instrument to play out of those 3?
Well, I love all 3, but if I had to choose, I'd say the clarinet. It's the hardest one to play, but I love the sound of it.
6.
And do you practice for many hours each day?
Oh yes, I certainly put the hours in. On all 3 instruments, I probably spend about 4 hours a day overall practicing, and about half of that time I spend on the clarinet.
That's a lot of the day spent on music.
7.
Do you have to fit all that practice around a job? Apart from busking, I mean.
Well, yes, actually. I also work part-time teaching in a school, giving clarinet and saxophone lessons. It's part of a special scheme sponsored by a local football club. They pay for teachers to give music classes to kids in schools in poor parts of London, and they buy the instruments too. It's a really good idea, because these are kids who'd never get the chance normally to learn an instrument, as it's usually so expensive.
That sounds a great scheme. OK, Ben, so one last question. What was your prize for winning the competition?
Oh, it's really cool.